What if one of the most common compliments you've ever received actually felt more insulting than flattering? Why do the stars of Little Singles say that certain comments about their dating lives completely miss the point? And what can their experiences teach all of us about respect, assumptions, confidence, and the way we approach modern relationships? Today, we're taking a closer look at the conversations that have sparked discussion among fans of Little Singles. Throughout the series and in public interviews, several cast members have spoken candidly about the misconceptions they encounter while dating. Some assumptions may seem harmless at first, while others reveal how easily stereotypes can shape the way people view relationships. We'll explore the public comments shared by the cast, examine why certain remarks, often intended as compliments, can actually feel dismissive or patronizing, and discuss what these experiences reveal about confidence, communication, and authentic human connection. By the end of this video, you'll have a deeper understanding of why genuine respect matters far more than outdated assumptions or well-meaning but misguided compliments. Introduction. Little Singles is a relationship-focused reality series that shines a light on real conversations, emotional growth, vulnerability, and the search for meaningful romantic connections. Rather than relying solely on dramatic moments, the show gives viewers an opportunity to see people navigating dating with honesty, humor, and resilience while sharing experiences that many can relate to. Throughout the series, cast members have openly discussed a variety of challenges they face while dating. These include misconceptions from strangers, awkward questions, and comments that are often intended as praise, but can instead feel dismissive or patronizing. Their willingness to speak about these experiences has encouraged broader conversations about respect, inclusion, confidence, and the importance of seeing individuals for who they are rather than through stereotypes. In this video, we'll focus exclusively on publicly available interviews, official promotional material, and conversations the cast has chosen to share publicly. We'll avoid speculation, rumors, and private matters, keeping the discussion grounded in verified information and the perspectives expressed by the individuals themselves. As we begin, it's worth remembering that many dating misconceptions come from assumptions rather than genuine understanding. By exploring the experiences shared by the cast of Little Singles, we can better appreciate the challenges they describe, recognize why certain comments can have unintended effects, and gain valuable insight into what respectful, authentic relationships truly look like. With that foundation in place, let's dive into the first major topic and examine the dating misconceptions that continue to shape public perception, and why the cast believes it's time to challenge them. From the hook and introduction, let's now move into one of the central themes explored throughout Little Singles: the misconceptions people often carry into conversations about dating. Long before two people have the opportunity to genuinely get to know one another, assumptions can already begin shaping expectations. These assumptions are not always intentional or malicious, but they can influence the way relationships begin and how individuals are perceived. Stereotypes continue to exist because people naturally rely on familiar ideas to make quick judgments. Society is filled with simplified narratives about different groups of people, and those narratives often spread through entertainment, social media, or personal anecdotes. While stereotypes may seem harmless to some, they rarely reflect the full complexity of real individuals. Instead, they encourage people to expect certain behaviors, personalities, or life experiences before hearing someone's actual story. Dating is one area where these assumptions can become especially noticeable. Before a first conversation has even started, people sometimes develop expectations based solely on appearance, background, or circumstances. These expectations can affect everything from confidence to communication. When someone feels they are being judged before they have had the chance to introduce themselves, it becomes much harder to build an authentic connection. One of the recurring lessons viewers often take from Little Singles is that every cast member brings a unique personality, history, sense of humor, and set of goals to the dating process. While the participants may share certain life experiences, they are far from identical. Some are outgoing and adventurous, while others are quieter and more reserved. Some approach dating with optimism, while others proceed more cautiously after previous disappointments. Watching these differences unfold reminds audiences that people cannot be understood through broad generalizations. First impressions also deserve careful consideration. They can be valuable because they help people notice confidence, kindness, humor, or compatibility. However, first impressions are incomplete by nature. A brief conversation rarely reveals someone's values, emotional maturity, resilience, or capacity for commitment. Many meaningful relationships begin only after people move beyond their initial assumptions and become willing to listen with an open mind. The show frequently illustrates that meaningful conversations take time. Rather than rushing to conclusions, participants often ask thoughtful questions about each other's lives, interests, families, and aspirations. These discussions allow personalities to emerge naturally instead of being overshadowed by preconceived ideas. As viewers watch these exchanges develop, they are reminded that genuine understanding is earned through conversation rather than assumption. Another important distinction highlighted throughout these discussions is the difference between curiosity and intrusive questioning. Curiosity is a natural part of meeting someone new. Asking respectful questions demonstrates interest and encourages connection. However, there is a point where curiosity crosses into personal territory that someone may not be ready to discuss. Respecting boundaries is an essential part of building trust. Healthy curiosity usually begins with questions that invite people to share their interests, hobbies, career goals, favorite memories, or future dreams. These conversations allow both individuals to learn about each other without creating unnecessary discomfort. They communicate respect while giving each person control over how much they wish to reveal. Intrusive questions, on the other hand, often focus immediately on deeply personal topics or make assumptions about someone's life before trust has been established. Even when these questions are not intended to offend, they can leave someone feeling as though they are being analyzed rather than appreciated as a person. Successful relationships generally grow when both people allow trust to develop naturally instead of expecting immediate access to every aspect of another person's life. Reality television has an interesting ability to challenge misconceptions because it allows viewers to spend extended time with participants rather than relying on brief introductions or headlines. Over multiple episodes, audiences witness humor, vulnerability, disagreements, personal growth, and everyday conversations. These moments create a fuller picture of who someone really is. Programs like Little Singles can encourage viewers to reconsider assumptions they may have held previously. As cast members discuss their hopes, frustrations, insecurities, and successes, it becomes increasingly difficult to reduce them to simple labels. Instead, audiences begin recognizing shared human experiences that exist regardless of background or circumstance. This shift in perspective is one reason relationship-focused reality programming continues attracting loyal audiences. While dramatic moments often receive attention, many viewers remain invested because they enjoy watching authentic conversations and emotional growth. Seeing participants navigate uncertainty, express vulnerability, and celebrate small victories reminds audiences that dating challenges are remarkably universal. One of the strongest messages emerging from these conversations is the importance of seeing individuals rather than labels. Labels can sometimes provide basic information, but they never tell a complete story. Every person has unique ambitions, talents, fears, values, and dreams that deserve to be understood on their own terms. When participants share personal stories, viewers often discover experiences they did not expect. Someone who initially appeared extremely confident may reveal private insecurities. Another participant who seemed quiet may become one of the group's funniest personalities after becoming more comfortable. These moments demonstrate why patience is so valuable when getting to know someone. The show's conversations also encourage empathy by allowing participants to explain their own experiences in their own words. Instead of having others define them, they describe what dating means to them, what challenges they have faced, and what kind of partner they hope to find. Hearing these perspectives directly often creates greater understanding than relying on assumptions or stereotypes. Empathy grows when people listen without immediately preparing a response or forming judgments. Active listening communicates respect, validates another person's experiences, and creates space for honest dialogue. These qualities are essential not only in romantic relationships, but also in friendships, families, and everyday interactions. Respectful communication appears throughout many of the show's conversations. Participants often demonstrate simple but meaningful habits, such as maintaining eye contact, asking thoughtful follow-up questions, acknowledging another person's feelings, and allowing conversations to unfold naturally. They show that effective communication is less about saying the perfect thing and more about making someone feel heard and valued. Another valuable example of respectful communication involves accepting differences without treating them as problems to be solved. Two people may have different interests, communication styles, or life experiences, yet still develop mutual respect by approaching those differences with curiosity instead of judgment. This openness creates stronger foundations than trying to fit someone into predetermined expectations. Many viewers find these moments relatable because vulnerability is something nearly everyone experiences while dating. Opening up to another person always involves some uncertainty. There is no guarantee that feelings will be returned or that compatibility will exist. That uncertainty can be intimidating, yet it also creates opportunities for authentic connection. Watching others navigate those emotions reminds audiences that nervousness, excitement, disappointment, and hope are all normal parts of building relationships. These shared experiences often resonate regardless of age or personal background because they reflect emotions that many people have experienced themselves. Openness plays a significant role in reducing misunderstanding. When individuals communicate honestly about their intentions, expectations, and feelings, there is less room for incorrect assumptions to develop. Honest conversations may sometimes feel uncomfortable, but they usually prevent confusion that could become more difficult to resolve later. Likewise, approaching others with an open mind creates opportunities to discover qualities that might otherwise be overlooked. Instead of expecting someone to fit a stereotype, people become free to appreciate individual personalities and genuine compatibility. That willingness to learn rather than assume often leads to stronger, healthier relationships. As we move forward, these broader misconceptions become even more meaningful when viewed through actual dating experiences. The conversations featured throughout Little Singles illustrate how stereotypes, assumptions, and expectations can influence first dates, emotional connections, and the way participants respond to one another. In the next section, we'll explore how these misconceptions appear during real dating interactions and how honest communication often becomes the key to overcoming them. Now, one of the most interesting conversations to emerge from Little Singles revolves around something that many people would never expect to be hurtful: a compliment. Several cast members have publicly shared that certain comments they receive are often intended as praise, yet they don't always feel that way. Instead of leaving someone feeling appreciated, these remarks can unintentionally reinforce assumptions that the cast has spent years trying to move beyond. A common example involves expressions of surprise. Rather than simply saying someone is attractive, confident, funny, or charming, people sometimes frame their compliments in ways that suggest those qualities were unexpected. Comments like expressing amazement that someone is dating successfully or assuming they have a remarkable personality, despite their appearance, can leave the impression that the speaker had very low expectations to begin with. That difference matters. Genuine admiration celebrates who a person is. Surprise, on the other hand, can unintentionally reveal hidden stereotypes. Even if the intention is kind, the wording can imply that the individual is being judged against assumptions rather than appreciated for their unique qualities. Language has incredible power in relationships. A few words can make someone feel respected, valued, and understood, or they can unintentionally remind someone of stereotypes they've encountered throughout their life. That's why many members of the cast emphasize that thoughtful communication is every bit as important as good intentions. This is an important lesson because most people don't wake up intending to offend someone. Many awkward comments come from curiosity or unfamiliarity rather than malice. But understanding how our words affect others helps create more meaningful conversations and stronger relationships. Another key distinction the show encourages viewers to consider is the difference between admiration and patronizing praise. Admiration focuses on someone's character, achievements, interests, humor, intelligence, or kindness. Patronizing comments often sound as though the person deserves extra credit simply for living a normal life. While those remarks may be intended as encouraging, they can unintentionally make someone feel defined by stereotypes instead of recognized as an individual. Respectful ways to express interest are actually quite simple. Ask questions about hobbies, careers, goals, travel experiences, favorite activities, or family traditions. Show curiosity about the person's personality rather than making assumptions based on appearance. Treat the conversation the same way you would with anyone else you're getting to know. The cast also demonstrates that confidence grows when people feel accepted without unnecessary labels. Being seen as an individual allows authentic personalities to shine through. Instead of constantly addressing differences, meaningful relationships develop when two people discover shared values, compatible goals, and genuine chemistry. One of the broader messages throughout these discussions is that everyone benefits from thinking more carefully about communication. Whether you're dating, making new friends, or meeting coworkers, thoughtful language creates trust. It allows people to feel respected instead of judged. Rather than becoming defensive when someone points out that a comment didn't land well, the healthiest response is often to listen. Intentions certainly matter, but impact matters too. Being willing to learn and adjust demonstrates maturity and empathy. Fortunately, Little Singles approaches these conversations with warmth and humor. Cast members often laugh about awkward moments while also explaining why certain comments can become tiring over time. That balance makes the discussion approachable rather than confrontational. Viewers are invited to reflect on their own communication without feeling criticized. These honest conversations naturally lead into another fascinating aspect of the series: how the cast approaches dating itself. Despite misunderstandings and occasional awkward encounters, they continue to meet new people with optimism, resilience, and a genuine desire to build meaningful relationships. One of the reasons Little Singles resonates with so many viewers is that the dating experiences shown on screen feel remarkably relatable. Although every cast member has unique life experiences, the emotions surrounding dating, hope, nervousness, excitement, uncertainty, and vulnerability, are familiar to almost everyone. Confidence plays an important role throughout the series. Rather than allowing stereotypes or previous disappointments to define them, many cast members approach new opportunities with openness. Confidence doesn't mean believing every date will become a perfect relationship. Instead, it means trusting that you're worthy of genuine connection regardless of the outcome. At the same time, the show presents a realistic picture of dating. Not every first meeting results in lasting chemistry. Some conversations reveal different priorities, incompatible lifestyles, or simply personalities that don't quite fit together. Rather than portraying these situations as failures, the series presents them as a normal part of finding compatibility. Building trust is another recurring theme. Meaningful relationships rarely develop overnight. Throughout the series, viewers watch people gradually become more comfortable sharing their personal stories, discussing family relationships, future goals, career ambitions, and emotional expectations. Trust grows through consistency rather than grand gestures. Honest communication also remains central. Instead of avoiding difficult topics, cast members frequently discuss what they're looking for in a relationship, how they handle conflict, what they value most in a partner, and where they see their futures. These conversations help reduce misunderstandings before expectations become unrealistic. The series also reminds viewers that unsuccessful dates are not wasted experiences. Every interaction provides an opportunity to learn something about personal preferences, communication styles, and emotional needs. Sometimes discovering that two people aren't compatible is just as valuable as finding someone who is. Emotional resilience becomes especially noticeable as the season progresses. Rejection, disappointment, and awkward moments are universal parts of dating. What matters most is how people respond afterward. Many cast members demonstrate resilience by remaining optimistic without pretending every experience is easy. Mutual respect continues to guide these relationships. Whether connections become romantic or simply remain friendships, treating one another with honesty and kindness creates positive experiences even when romance doesn't develop. Respect makes difficult conversations easier and helps preserve dignity for everyone involved. Another strength of the show is the supportive environment among cast members. They encourage one another before dates, celebrate successful connections, and offer reassurance after disappointments. That sense of community highlights the importance of having friends who remind us that our value isn't determined by a single relationship. Viewers also witness significant personal growth throughout the series. As participants become more comfortable expressing themselves, they often gain confidence, improve communication skills, and develop a clearer understanding of the qualities they truly seek in a partner. Ultimately, authenticity remains the foundation of every meaningful connection shown in Little Singles. Rather than pretending to be someone they're not, cast members consistently demonstrate that lasting relationships begin when people allow others to see their genuine personalities. These authentic conversations have inspired viewers to reflect on their own experiences, leading to thoughtful discussions both online and offline about dating, communication, and respect. Since its premiere, Little Singles has generated thoughtful conversations among audiences who appreciate its emphasis on genuine relationships rather than manufactured drama. Many viewers have praised the series for presenting honest discussions about dating, confidence, and communication, while highlighting experiences that are often overlooked in mainstream entertainment. Social media has become an active space where fans share their reactions after each episode. Many posts focus on memorable conversations, heartfelt moments, and the cast's willingness to address uncomfortable topics with honesty and humor. Viewers often describe these scenes as refreshing because they encourage empathy instead of judgment. One reason these discussions resonate is that feelings of being misunderstood are nearly universal. While everyone's circumstances are different, many people have experienced being judged based on appearance, background, profession, age, or first impressions. That shared emotional experience allows audiences to connect with the cast even when their life experiences are different. The conversations sparked by the series have also encouraged people to think more carefully about respectful language. Fans frequently discuss how seemingly harmless comments can carry unintended meanings and how choosing different words can create more positive interactions. These reflections extend far beyond dating and apply to friendships, workplaces, and everyday conversations. Reality television has sometimes been criticized for emphasizing conflict, but shows like Little Singles demonstrate another possibility. By highlighting authentic conversations and emotional vulnerability, reality programming can encourage viewers to consider perspectives they may not have encountered before. Watching people explain their experiences firsthand often creates greater understanding than reading statistics or summaries. Another interesting aspect of the audience response is the diversity of viewpoints. Some viewers immediately recognize why certain comments can feel patronizing, while others admit they had never considered those perspectives before. These respectful differences of opinion often lead to productive conversations rather than arguments, allowing people to learn from one another. Listening before making assumptions becomes one of the show's most valuable lessons. Rather than deciding how someone should feel about a particular experience, many fans emphasize the importance of hearing individual stories first. That willingness to listen creates opportunities for empathy and meaningful dialogue. Constructive discussions inspired by the series also highlight the importance of asking respectful questions. Curiosity can strengthen relationships when expressed thoughtfully. Instead of relying on assumptions, taking time to understand another person's experiences often leads to deeper connections and greater mutual respect. Many viewers have also praised the show's contribution to broader representation in reality television. Seeing a wider variety of experiences portrayed on screen helps audiences appreciate that meaningful relationships exist in many different forms and that everyone's story deserves to be treated with dignity. Perhaps most importantly, these conversations extend well beyond dating. The themes explored throughout the series, communication, respect, empathy, confidence, and individuality, are relevant in nearly every aspect of life. Whether interacting with family members, coworkers, neighbors, or strangers, the same principles encourage stronger and healthier relationships. As these discussions continue to reach wider audiences, the series reminds viewers that the biggest lessons aren't only about romance. They're about how we choose to understand and respect one another every day. As Little Singles progresses, it becomes increasingly clear that the series is about much more than finding romantic partners. At its heart, the show explores the qualities that strengthen every meaningful relationship: communication, empathy, honesty, respect, and authenticity. Communication serves as the foundation of healthy relationships. Whether two people are meeting for the first time or have known each other for years, honest conversations help prevent misunderstandings and build trust. Throughout the series, viewers repeatedly see how openness creates stronger emotional connections than assumptions ever could. Respecting personal experiences is another lesson woven throughout the show. Every individual arrives with unique challenges, achievements, memories, and perspectives. Rather than assuming everyone's journey is the same, meaningful relationships grow when people listen carefully and appreciate those differences. The series also encourages audiences to move beyond stereotypes. Labels rarely capture the complexity of a person's character. By focusing on individual personalities instead of preconceived ideas, people become free to discover genuine compatibility based on shared values, interests, and mutual understanding. Treating every individual as unique is perhaps one of the show's strongest messages. No two cast members approach relationships in exactly the same way. Their personalities, goals, communication styles, and expectations differ, reminding viewers that meaningful connections always depend on understanding the individual rather than relying on generalizations. Emotional connection develops through authenticity. Rather than trying to impress others with a carefully constructed image, many of the most memorable moments occur when participants speak honestly about their hopes, fears, and experiences. Vulnerability often becomes the starting point for trust. Confidence also appears throughout the series, but not in the traditional sense. Instead of projecting perfection, confidence is portrayed as accepting oneself while remaining open to growth. That kind of self-assurance allows people to approach relationships with optimism without pretending to have all the answers. Kindness consistently proves to be one of the most powerful qualities shown throughout the season. Small gestures of encouragement, patient listening, thoughtful questions, and respectful communication often leave a greater impression than dramatic romantic moments. The show quietly demonstrates that kindness builds lasting trust. Even uncomfortable conversations become opportunities for growth. Misunderstandings, awkward moments, and differing perspectives do not necessarily weaken relationships. When handled respectfully, they often deepen understanding and strengthen emotional bonds by encouraging honesty and empathy. Empathy ultimately connects every lesson presented throughout Little Singles. Taking time to understand another person's experiences helps reduce assumptions, improve communication, and create healthier relationships. Whether dating, building friendships, or interacting with family members, empathy allows people to appreciate one another as individuals. Looking back across the season, these themes consistently reinforce one another. Respect encourages better communication. Better communication builds trust. Trust creates emotional connection. Emotional connection supports authenticity. And authenticity allows relationships to develop on a foundation of honesty rather than assumptions. With these ideas in mind, the series prepares viewers for its conclusion by reminding us that meaningful relationships are rarely built through perfect first impressions. They are built through patience, understanding, kindness, and the willingness to see every person as an individual with a story worth hearing. As we reach the end of this discussion, one message stands out above everything else. Little Singles is about far more than dating. At its core, the series focuses on authentic human connection, showing people who are willing to be open, vulnerable, and honest as they navigate relationships. Rather than relying on stereotypes or dramatic assumptions, the show encourages viewers to see each cast member as an individual with unique experiences, hopes, and challenges. Throughout the season, cast members have continued to challenge many of the common misconceptions they encounter. Whether discussing the frustrating assumptions people make about their dating lives or explaining why certain compliments can actually feel dismissive, their conversations remind us that respect begins with listening rather than assuming. These moments resonate because they reflect situations that many people experience in everyday life, regardless of background. One of the strongest lessons from the series is the importance of thoughtful communication. The words we choose matter. Even well-intentioned comments can have an unintended impact if they are based on stereotypes instead of genuine curiosity and understanding. By asking respectful questions, listening carefully, and treating people as individuals rather than representatives of a group, we create stronger and more meaningful relationships. The series also encourages viewers to look beyond appearances and preconceived ideas. It's easy to make quick judgments based on limited information, but Little Singles repeatedly demonstrates that real connections are built through honesty, empathy, and mutual respect. Every conversation offers an opportunity to challenge assumptions and replace them with greater understanding. These lessons extend far beyond reality television. Whether interacting with friends, coworkers, family members, or someone new, approaching people with kindness, openness, and respect can make a significant difference. The experiences shared by the cast serve as valuable reminders that meaningful relationships grow when people feel heard, appreciated, and accepted for who they truly are. That authenticity is a major reason why Little Singles continues to resonate with audiences. While every relationship is different, the emotions, uncertainties, hopes, and moments of vulnerability shown throughout the series are deeply relatable. Viewers continue returning because the conversations feel genuine, offering thoughtful insights into dating, communication, and personal growth. As always, it's important to form your own opinions based on the conversations and interactions presented in the series, rather than relying on assumptions, social media speculation, or headlines taken out of context. Watching the full discussions provides a more complete understanding of the people involved and the experiences they choose to share. Whether you've been following Little Singles from the beginning or are just discovering the series, its conversations about dating, respect, and authentic connection offer valuable perspectives for everyone. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.